Welcome, Sergei. How's it
Hey.
going? Good to see you.
Here. Yeah.
It's been a while. We met in Malta quite a few years ago at the Hotjar event. Have we seen each other in person since then?
No, I don't think so.
Although
I have been listening to your podcast, obviously. So it's
that's good. Little plug there for the SaaS Revolution show. And I understand you run a podcast as well called Algorithm.
Yeah, that's right. In Estonia, we have a local podcast. Those who are interested and understand the Estonian language, you can listen for our podcast.
Okay, so it's only in Estonian language. So that's how many software developers in Estonia?
Numbers vary. We actually bring a lot of developers from abroad. We in Pipedrive, but also the startup community. We have a startup visa, which simplifies ability for developers to move to Estonia, and we have a really vibrant community here, and also quite a number of unicorns.
That's true. Of which a recent unicorn you may well know very personally as well. So congrats on that. We'll talk about that. So why don't you introduce yourself? Like, who is Sergei Anikin? How did you end up working for Pipedrive, and what is Pipedrive?
Sure. So I started in the software industry in 1996. Right when I was in the university as a developer, as we all probably did, and I spent my first 10 years in banking software, but already right then in Estonia we started building out the internet banking solutions, and I kind of participated in this revolution. And after working in banking, I joined Skype, one of the first Estonian unicorns. Spent there 7 years, went through 2 acquisitions. So one was by Silver Lake Partners. They acquired Skype from eBay, and then Microsoft 2 years later acquired Skype, and spent 2 years in Microsoft organization, and was invited into Pipedrive as a VP of engineering initially. It was 7 years ago, and was 20 employees company. I don't remember exactly what was the ARR number, maybe around 1 million at the time, and now we scaled to 700 employees. We just recently celebrated and got the unicorn status.
Amazing. I'm just seeing a comment there from Joseph saying Skype RIP. It still exists, Joseph, but it's in the background. I actually spoke at a conference virtually in Brazil not too long ago, and it was all done on Skype, much to my surprise. And actually the technology was quite good, but it seems everybody is mostly using Zoom and Microsoft Teams and things like that these days. So recently, I think as we sort of intimated, that Pipedrive joined the Unicorn Club, and one of the many unicorns in Estonia. So congrats around that. And there was a majority acquisition of shares from Vista Equity Partners or Ventures.
Partners.
Tell me a little bit about that. Like, how did you feel? How long did you know about the news? Did you, when did you hear it first? How did everybody in the team think, and what does it mean for the future?
Yeah, I mean, the whole year, right? This year was just a roller coaster. I mean, we started the year off with really good growth, and then all these lockdowns and COVID situation hit everyone, I guess, in the industry, because everyone was just shocked by the fact that everything is locked down. And yes, I understand Zoom and some other collaboration software were growing, but the rest of the industry probably was very cautious, and I personally actually closed one of my credit cards just not to spend money on some things which are related to travel and so on. And Pipedrive was hit by COVID as well. So March, April, like we were not growing at all, and obviously the company, the whole company, and kudos to the team, we kind of reorganized ourselves, like reprioritized different product developments, and during summer we actually saw a really nice growth there, and approximately at the same time Vista felt or showed their interest, right? And then obviously initially it was just conversations, but then they did a market study, and they found out that Pipedrive is kind of the leader in the SME CRM solution sales, CRM solutions, and they felt they want to be part of our success story, and this is where the obviously terms came in, and Vista executes really fast. So basically we spend only 3 weeks in this basically virtual. We never met them physically, right? But we spent 3 weeks to do the whole due diligence, and then we closed the deal. So it's really amazing.
Amazing, good stuff. And so today we're going to be talking about how integrations helped scale the ARR for Pipedrive. I think you guys were, if I remember, at some point either last year or earlier this year, at around 80 million ARR. So when you got acquired, you were north of that, or roughly thereabouts?
Yeah, we are like we grow past that. So we don't publish our numbers, but yeah, we.
I don't know who my source was, but I'm sure I found that out. But then in terms of integrations helping ARR, let's start with APIs. So Pipedrive was API from the beginning. Why was that, and how did that benefit the business?
Interestingly, when I joined the company, it was already 3 years old, and one thing I noticed about the product was that it's basically a end user product, but it also had basically a very extensive API. Like basically every function what was possible to do in the user interface was also possible to automate through the API. And for me, for such a small company, just like started out, it felt like a lot of waste, right? In terms of development resources. But on the other hand, to be honest, I don't know the reasons behind this decision to build the API first solution, but it did help us win a lot of kind of early adopters, technology savvy users, and we are still kind of have a lot of users in this technology software development sector, and your early customers were prizing Pipedrive specifically for having API really nicely kind of thought through API and ability to automate stuff on top of the API. So I believe that kind of helped us to grow in this initial phase of our growth.
And you guys built on a marketplace quite early as well. So when did you do that? So what stage of the company were you at? And what were the reasons behind it? What were you thinking sort of strategically? And also just the benefits and challenges of having a marketplace?
Yeah, I vividly remember that we started talking about building marketplace in between our Series A and Series B. And the reasoning behind that was our product strategy. So we were basically building out the core kind of CRM and sales CRM solution, and we were also very geographically spread, right? Like we have users in US, but Brazil was our second largest market, and then like we have a very long tail of like 150 different countries where our customers are coming from, and we just felt that our users want to integrate with various software solutions. Let's say like there is a need to integrate with different ERP systems, with different accounting systems, with different marketing systems. and we realized we can't possibly provide that for them on one hand, and on the other hand, we started to kind of crossing this chasm of going from this tech savvy to a majority of customers who really require a kind of plug and play solution, right? So we felt that we need to build a marketplace where the third-party vendors will be able to connect their software to our CRM, and we would benefiting from kind of building out the complete solution for our customers through these integrations. But on the other hand, the other vendors will be able to grow their businesses through our marketplace.
How complex is it to build a marketplace? I mean, what was the development requirements around that?
I think it's more complicated for us than for many other businesses, just because of the scale. Like at the time, we were already like working on scaling our architecture, like beyond just one instance and beyond like a couple of thousand users, right? So I think this just the ability to scale the solution was the biggest complexity. Otherwise, there are kind of a lot of ready-made components you can kind of compose your marketplace of.
And any major challenges when you're building this out and sort of developing it over the years?
Yeah, I think the main challenge is as of any marketplace business, right, where you need to build enough or to have enough incentives to build those integrations for the kind of external partners, and one of those incentives is to plug into a large customer base, right? Without having a large customer base, there is not much incentive to that. So I guess just getting this vendors interested in building marketplace apps is the most challenging.
You said you did it between Series A and Series B. Is that the right time for a SaaS startup or SaaS company to think about it? Or like, what are your thoughts around when the right time to launch a marketplace could be in general?
I think it will naturally happen when you're going from the feature or a solution to a certain problem into the kind of platform mode, right? If you want to become a platform for certain things, like you have to build out a marketplace or some way to integrate other solutions, right?
And at the same time, when you were building your own marketplace, you started to look at other, I guess, kind of third-party sort of marketplaces in some other apps like Trello and Slack, and decided to integrate into those. So tell us a little bit about that and the benefit of doing that and how that helps the business.
Yeah, we through I think it's a growth strategy. Like through our life, we saw that there are certain new marketplaces popping up where if you are becoming the first vendor in your category, providing a solution to the customers of this marketplace, like you will create a very nice kind of stream of either new users or new revenue, and we try to capitalize on that. And at the time, Trello just launched their marketplace, and we thought it's a nice opportunity to kind of tap into these users, either free or paid, who are using Trello, because the notion of having a pipeline or Kanban view was very similar to Trello, and as Trello is used mostly for project management, and which is also kind of adjacent area to our business. So we used this opportunity. Trello was actually our best kind of channel in terms of numbers for the growth of the company. Obviously not like the biggest one, like the biggest is still our kind of direct and organic traffic, which we are very famous for. But yeah, it was a nice, and then we also integrated with Slack. Again, it's it's very natural extension, like you use Pipedrive for your sales activities, but then you want to have notifications in your Slack or some information shared with other team members. So it wasn't so much of a, like initially it was built as a growth play, but we found out that there is actually just a lot of value we are providing through this integration to our customers. So it was a nice addition.
Even though it's a little off topic, you dropped it in there about Pipedrive being famous for direct and organic traffic. What's the secret?
I think easy to use and kind of self-service solution is obviously like must have, right? But I think on top of that, just two of our founders, like they have the same mindset of the same brain as all other salespeople around the world, and I think that's just when people understanding the software from the first time they use it, I think that's where the magic happens, right?
Awesome. Just a note for the attendees, delegates here. If you do have any questions for Sergei, feel free to drop them in the chat. We've got a couple more questions, but we'll come to questions in the end if there are any. So drop any questions in the chat. So in terms of integrations, what has been the impact for the business around retention of customers?
Yeah, it's interesting that different vendors use integrations for different purposes. So some use for monetization, right? So you can have one or two integrations for free, but then you have to kind of start paying if you want to integrate with more apps. We never had this strategy for various reasons, but what we noticed is that the moment our customers use at least one integration, their lifetime value extends dramatically because churn goes down, and they're obviously getting much more value than those customers who don't have any integrations.
Do you have customers with 10 integrations, or what is the kind of average that you see?
So average is around one, two integrations, but 10 is probably extreme. It's really like heavy advanced users probably. We also have a Zapier integration, and in case of Zapier we see one integration, but it's actually they might actually connect to multiple endpoints on the other side, right? So we don't have too much insight into those, but we definitely, that's actually part of our strategy, is to extend the number of, we call them tier 1 integrations, and we want to build them ourselves so that they are more tightly integrated into the software itself. And the strategy we're using for that is actually we find a category. Let's say it's a video calling software, right? And for salespeople, like obviously it's not face to face anymore. It's most of the meetings are happening through video calls, and that's a very natural category for us to integrate. But we are not integrating specifically to one video calling software, but we are building a template for general integration with any kind of video calling software. We have integrated with Zoom and using this template, and now we are going to just extend it to various different video calling solutions, again depending on what our customers are using. Like, we don't want to limit them, and I think that's a nice strategy where you pick a category, you understand how you what are the integration points, right? It's not just API, but on the UI level, where do you want to have these integrations with this specific category of integrations, and you kind of build an abstraction layer to this category, and then you can build not just one but multiple, because like there is obviously customers using one or customers using the other, and you don't want to leave those out.
Thinking about two questions, I guess, on the future here. One, how can you leverage integrations further in the future to continue to scale ARR? And then the second one, obviously now, with the Vista acquisition, what is the future looking like, and what is the roadmap like for Pipedrive?
Yeah. So with integrations, there are multiple ways we can leverage that. Obviously, if you have high quality integrations and these integrations provide value for the customers, you can just monetize them either by, as I mentioned previously, just limiting the number of integrations you can have on certain tier, or just asking for a small monthly or annual price specifically for this integration. You can also partner with the integration software or with the vendor with whom you integrated to provide a kind of bundle which you sell as one piece to your customers. That way you can cross-sell, right, between you and the other vendor. Yeah, I guess these are the two obvious ones. And with Vista, currently we are going through extensive product planning exercise, which we're looking for like next 3 to 5 years, right? And what we are looking at is, like, we started with this sales-focused CRM, but we do realize that there are adjacent categories to the left, so to speak, where the marketing, like lead generation, and then on the right as well, like after you close your deal, like you have to sign it, you have to deliver what you have sold, and then you probably also want to kind of sell again to the same customer, so account management. We call this a revenue platform. Like, we also want to build a really like, the problem with the industry right now is that you have different tools for different stages of the revenue generation or customer lifecycle, and these tools are not connected really well in terms of kind of data sharing, and you can't really get a good reporting on top of the customer lifecycle, like how many how your marketing activities are actually contributing to your revenue, top line revenue, right? It's very hard to get this numbers. So in the long run, we really want to build this integrated solution where you have a marketing app or marketing suite of apps, and then you have sales, and then you have also delivery software, and on the high level you can get reporting, and also there are some other shared experiences. We call them shared experiences. Let's say when you communicate with your customer, right, you are using either audio video software, or you're using email. So we want this to be consistent across all software. Is it a marketing email which you have sent to the customer? Is it a sales email? Like, you will see it in the customer profile, and you can make your kind of next decisions based on the history and the context of the customer.
Yeah, I think we've seen, like HubSpot, the marketing came from being a marketing automation and inbound marketing platform, now added that sales element into it. I don't know, they don't call themselves marketing automation, but it's a CRM, like pretty much like now, right? But it's that bringing together those both sides. So bringing that together, makes a lot of sense, and it would be very interesting to see what you guys do, within that space. And I guess for you, thinking about 2021, and so like this year has been challenging for everybody, and for the employees and teammates, etc. What are you hoping, and what are you seeing? Like, what is your kind of like vision for for 2021 for you and for the team at Pipedrive?
Well, my biggest hope is that we will be able to meet physically because we are a distributed company, right? We have offices in like 8 or 9 different locations, and actually people. I mean, we are lucky in Estonia. Like we have a really, well, not really, but the bearable situation here. Like I'm in the office, and then we have around 40% of employees actually going to the office every day. We haven't had to close it, but I really hope that we can meet with our colleagues from other offices because it really creates this kind of common feeling of a team, right? It's very important, and because we haven't had a chance, an opportunity to meet face to face for such a long time, and just feel people are being pretty tired of this situation.
Were you doing a lot of traveling like pre-COVID, and do you and if so, do you think you'll go back to that?
We used to, yeah. I mean, our executive team has been really spread out. Like Theuma CEO was in Lisbon, CFO in New York, I'm in Tallinn, and so we used to go to Germany, Frankfurt. That's there. Every our office had a direct flight connection, and then I wouldn't say we had a very extensive travel schedule, but yeah, we met face to face like once per 2 months. Just, I mean, complicated topics you can't really discuss over video calls, right? So this is where you have to kind of see and feel other person's kind of emotions. So yeah, I hope we can restart that in the next year.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I'm sure it's coming. Final question, because I know we're out of time. I'm sure this will be an easy one, and maybe you'll take it offline. Joseph Seuss, who's the CEO of Blinken, said, "Is there a SaaStock special Pipedrive voucher?" And so
we can create one.
We can create one. We can create one. And so Joseph, you heard that we'll create it, and we'll follow up. I'm sure Sergei will sort us out there to help you. Good stuff. Well, Sergei, thank you so much for being a great guest, giving up your time to join us for this SaaStock session, final one of the year. Really appreciate it. Good chatting to you. Hopefully we'll meet again in person in the future. Yeah, thank you so much, Sergei Anikin.
Thanks, Alex.
Pipedrive.